I decided to have 4 steps. So the first step was going to focus largely on oral presentation skills. So for that particular assignment, I had students write their own spells. So they modeled those on Greek and Latin spells, either from literary texts or from actual inscriptions. And they had to do a spell that was 1 minute long. They had to memorize it because I wanted them to focus on the actual oral presentation, on issues of how they spoke, how they stood, the kinds of things that are often not talked about much in college presentation classes when you use those presentations. But I think it's something that students really need to learn how to do better. So I thought we'll focus just on that one aspect at the beginning. So they memorized their spell and they delivered it in class. And that went really well. They enjoyed the assignment and they learned a lot because I usually present the workshop first. So we start with what is this assignment going to be? And then we talk about the elements of it. And then we move into practicing it once they have it ready. And I have them separate into groups so they can do the practice. And for that, there was a special workshop that I used videos for that Lily Lamboy had developed on different aspects of presentation skills, both verbal skills, pace, volume, diction, and also physical skills, gestures, posture, movement, and they practiced each of those individually in small groups. And then they practiced the actual spell when they got together with their practice groups. And then finally, they delivered the spell in class. One of the things I've noticed with presentations is that students often use images just as backdrop. And they don't really think about what an image can tell you, how it actually is a piece of evidence, and you can talk about it in a very discerning kind of way. So I gave them some instruction about how to do that. I modeled it for them in a presentation that I gave to them, and then they went off and chose their own image, and they loved doing that. They loved finding all these images of witches and witchcraft in general and putting it all together. So that was very popular. And what I want to do the next time I write up the assignments is I want to give specific learning objectives to the students so that they know why it is I'm assigning this particular part. Because I thought it was pretty obvious, but I think maybe the students didn't. It's really important to try and break the assignment up into parts so that you don't just assign one big presentation at the end, but you think about how you want to lead them toward that presentation. The whole concept of scaffolding, I think that is a really important idea, that you help them build toward a much more complicated thing by looking at the pieces that make it up. So I think that's absolutely critical.